everybody. I'm Karen.
I'm Dave.
And thank you for joining us today. This is the latest installment of our guest book theater, our guest house theater live series. We have been at our property in Michigan's beautiful Upper Peninsula for about almost the last 2 weeks. And today we are going to be reading some pieces of poetry that I've written. They are inspired by this area, this home that I inherited that we are very fortunate to also be able to share with others. So yeah, thank you. We'll close it out later today with, or at the end of this, with a couple of my favorites by my favorite poet. But we are going to get started with a poem that Dave will read that I recently wrote called Backyard.
Backyard. Bird song, the slightest breeze heard in the trees, a peace I never experienced growing up here. Soggy from the rain, untidy grass our city neighbors would disapprove of. The assortment of wildflowers, buttercups, clover, daisies, morning glories will always win the battle. They are not weeds. Before mining, before logging, before ships, this land was shared by the black bear and the Chippewa. Back when it was all forest. The bird song, the breeze, the growth, the language, unbridled. Someday will this house be gone? Abandoned, trees growing through its crumbled foundation? It will join the cemetery of lonely cars, sheds, and other homes in the fields nearby. Maybe someone will stumble upon the remnants one day in 200 years and imagine this moment. What bird songs will they hear? Will the trees still be there for the breeze to waft through?
Thank you. And this next one is called, I will be reading this one. This one is called Dad. There was no deck, no patio, no campfire. Just cheap, webbed lawn chairs on the grass, or the concrete stoop. I can see you there. Bright orange glow of a cigarette against a purple sky. Enjoying the yips of the coyotes calling over the field. Relaxing after a day in the woods. Early on, the smoke was accompanied by a beer. Later on, it was joined by a mug. Your coffee like an extension of your hand. These are the moments when I miss you. I see you in your grandson, always thinking, wondering, figuring. This place is mine now. Still no deck, no patio, but often a campfire, and coyotes, and fireflies. New memories, yes. Simply sharing space with the old. And this next one is called Insomnia. Everything is still, even the air. The curtains against the open window are asleep, but I'm not. I want to be. The clock ticks loudly, comforting, then annoying in its persistence, recording precious time wasted. Alone in the night, worried, afraid, insecure, so tired. I want sleep to come, yet the more I wait for it, the slower it comes. Too much to do and think about, yet eyes droop at the thought of doing anything right now. And Dave will read
So this is an important poem for everyone who's not from the UP or of Finnish descent from the UP to listen to. It may help you from making some embarrassing linguistic mistakes if you ever visit up here. Sauna. Look behind the houses here. Spy the small matching buildings. See the chimney? Sweat to get clean sounds crazy. The Finns do things our own way. It's called sisu. Warm your bones in the winter. Cool the air in the summer. Sauna, not sauna.
All right. And this one, a little bit of a story to this. But a year or two ago, my cousin's wife asked me for a copy of this poem that I wrote and read at my grandmother's funeral about 15 years ago. And I assumed it was long gone. I hadn't seen it, didn't make a point of keeping it. And I went to paint a closet here at the house a few days ago, and there it was, just sitting there on the top shelf. And it felt like it was longing to be heard again. So this is a poem called At Your Kitchen Table that I wrote for my Grandma Sari. There's a place that I'll remember every time I think of you. I'll carry the moments forever spent at the table there with you. We'd talk about the books we read, and you always wanted to know so much about the life I led since I moved away from home. Over countless cups of coffee and laughter that we shared, you saw something in me that not even I knew was there. In your youth, you chased 10 kids around, and 26 more came through time. Look around, you should be proud. We all turned out just fine. I could have just been another name on your list of cards to send, but you were more to me than Grandma. You were also my friend. Though I know you're in a better place, I hope I'll always be able to remember you clearly in your place at your kitchen table. All right. I got through that without crying. Yay.
That's no small thing.
So, my favorite poet is Shel Silverstein. This, by the way, is the very first big prize I ever got for writing. It was this hardcover copy of his Where the Sidewalk Ends. This is my personal favorite and motto for life. It is called Listen to the Mustn'ts. Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be.
All right, I get the last one.
You get the last
So
one.
I actually have a Shel Silverstein story too. I spent a lot of the 90s working for, and many older, more experienced Madisonians will remember Victor Allen's Coffee and Tea. They used to be all over the place before there was Starbucks and things like that. And there was one right on State Street, and I worked at it for years. And one of our occasional customers, I wouldn't call him a regular, but he would pop in every year or so, usually in the summertime or the fall, was Shel Silverstein. He would spend time in Madison, and he would come in, and he was just as frightening in person as he looks on the dust jackets. He actually was a wonderful guy. He was very, very nice and kind. He was but he was as gruff as he looks. And in case you ever wondered what Shel Silverstein would drink in a coffee shop, it was apple cider, hot, without all that crap in it. And that's a quote. No difference. Small as a peanut, big as a giant, we're all the same size when we turn off the light. Rich as a sultan, poor as a mite, we're all worth the same when we turn off the light. Red, black, or orange, yellow, or white, we all look the same when we turn off the light. So maybe the way to make everything right is for God to just reach out and turn off the light.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us in beautiful Mass City, Michigan. Thank you so much. If you would care to make a donation to Guest House Theater, you can do so on our website, Guest House Theater.
Or we'll post the link in the comments after this.
Yes.
We'll also post a PDF of Karen's original poems that we read earlier. Yep, she wrote all those. I don't know. I just hope she never gets wise to what mistake she made when she married me. But anyway, those will be up there. You can download them, read them if you had trouble hearing us. But yeah, if you have the ability, make a contribution and just keep following us. Next Actually, it'll be us again next Wednesday
Yes.
at 11 a.m. Central Time. If you've never listened to the podcast The Story Pirates, it's a podcast where these actors and comedians they take children's stories and turns them into sketch comedy. So we've commissioned a short story from our two kids, Max and Jin, which Karen and I will turn into, hopefully, sketch comedy. Until then,
Intentional or not.
have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.